All right. As you can see, I'm coming on a little bit early, a couple minutes early, because I want to get a few viewers before I start this live. Um, if you already haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. And most importantly, if you're trying to support Prison Yard TV, join and become a member. There's a join button. And I stress this to all my viewers because I got a lot of exclusive content coming that's not available to my regular YouTube viewers. So if you want to not miss out on that content, become a member. It's $3.99, $9.99, $24.99, or $49.99. And even if you only spend $3.99, you will become a member and you'll get this exclusive content with a copy of my book, The Man Behind the Woman. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for a few more viewers to come in. This is this video I've been thinking a lot about, and I was gonna save this video for a later date because I wanted my subscribers to be at least 2,500 subscribers before I gave this content. But I decided to go ahead and give you guys this piece of information sooner rather than later, because I think it's very important. It's actually, if you read the thumbnail, it's actually the beginning of the longest sentence I've ever been sentenced to. And I'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to wait for a few more viewers to come in and give it to you guys raw and uncut. And there's a lot. This is probably going to be a 2-3 part video. I'm only going to give you part 1 today, part 2 tomorrow. And if there is a part 3, that'll probably be coming on Friday. So this will be more than 1 part. So it's a pretty long video that I'm going to give you guys. But if you guys want to see the whole story, you're going to have to see all parts. I'm going to try to get it down to 2 parts, but it's probably going to be 3 parts. There's going to be a hangnail at the end. So stay tuned. I'm gonna wait for a few more viewers to come in before I start. Like I said, it's gonna be probably 2 to 3 parts to this video. It's a long video, and I don't want to put it all in one. So stay tuned. I'm waiting for a couple more viewers to come in before I start. And so I've been in contact with a couple other channels on YouTube, and they've been giving me a few, pointers here and there, and I'm taking heed to them. Dirty Weather 916 told me that I should be doing videos and not lives. I get more views on videos, and I'm going to be doing that. But right now, I figured, because I'm not all the way YouTube savvy yet, I'm just learning this shit. Today was my first paycheck. I know it came late, but I did get paid today from YouTube for my first check. I won't reveal how much it was, but I did get my first check from YouTube today. So I was kind of tripping on that. I was like, damn, I'm really getting paid to do this shit. So somebody's liking this content. Okay, so let me start this out. So I've talked a lot about my case in Washington, my 4 bank robberies. I never really talked about the after effects of that case from me coming home. So I caught that case, I believe November or December 2006. No, 2005. I caught my bank robbery case in 2005. I was sentenced to a lot of time, 20 plus years, and I was out within 2 years of being arrested. I appealed it. I got out December 25th, Christmas Day, 2007. So while I was at the county jail fighting the case, I was married before I went to jail, before I went to Washington, and I had a son from my wife. And while I was at the Washington, while I was in Olympia County Jail, my wife divorced me, and she had reasons to divorce me. So the whole time I'm in Washington, in jail and prison, I'm divorced. So we stay in contact, for my son's sake and stuff. So when I come home early, I come home December 25th, 2007. And it's 17 years earlier than which I should have came home. I was sentenced to a long time out there. Um, so when I got out on my appeal, everyone was surprised. So I come home. They release me in Washington. They tell me that I have to stay out there and do 9 months probation. The only person I knew out there was my friend D Bear. So I knew I wasn't going to do their probation. And unfortunately, I ran. I came back to Sacramento. And by February, me and my wife were back together. Got back with my wife. So you got to figure February of 2007 until October 2007, I'm free. So August or September 2007, I run into my cousin, and my cousin had a new fiance, and I guess her ex-husband had threatened my cousin's life. So, not to give up all the details, my cousin knew how I was, and he asked me to do him a favor. He wanted me to go to this guy's house, scare him, and rob him, so this dude would kind of leave him alone because he was marrying this dude's ex-wife. So, I'm only home 7-8 months from Washington, and I didn't have a lot of money then. I just did a couple years in Washington. I was starting over, basically. So he told me how much money was in this damn house. He made it sound hella good. And, I sat on this information for a couple months. Well, I was going to church. We was going to church out north in Del Paso Heights for a number of years. And I ran into a childhood friend at church. And he was from Meadowview, which at that time used to be our enemies. But I knew this dude since he was a kid. And no exaggeration, this dude was every bit of 320 pounds, probably 6'3", light-skinned cat. He was just a humongous guy. And he kept, every time I seen him at church, he was like, man, dog, I'm broke. I'm trying to make some money, man. You got any licks? And finally, my cousin was asking me to go do this for him. So finally I said, fuck it. Let's go do this lick. So my cousin had showed me where this dude lived. And the dude lived out on the River Road, Sacramento River. And he had a pear orchard. And my understanding was this dude grew marijuana and he sold cocaine. So he had a lot of money. My cousin said that his fiance was just at her ex-husband's house a couple of days prior to this day that I'm talking about. And she seen $200,000 there. And she told me where he kept it. They gave me all the details for me to go rob this dude. So because it was on the River Road and the river was right there, my plan was to go over there, put my fishing poles in the water, and watch this dude's house to see when he comes, to see when he leaves, to get a plan together to rob this dude. So we did that. Me, one of my family members, and the cat I'm talking about, it was from Meadowview. We went out there, and the first day we went out there, I put my fishing poles in the water. We seen this dude coming home, and he's a Mexican cat, and he came home alone. And he actually lived in a double wide trailer on this big ass property. He had a pear orchard, probably like 10 acres, maybe even more than that. You couldn't see the back half of his property, but he had a lot of property, and he lived in this double wide trailer. So that first day we was out there, I wanted to go do the lick right then. My family member that came with me, he was kind of skeptical. He's like, man, let's do it tomorrow. I said, okay, we'll come back tomorrow. So I went home, slept well, ran into a female on my way home that I've known for probably 4 or 5 months since I've been home. I met her. She was a little cute Mexican broad, right? And she was kind of in the game, selling a little bit of dope here and there, but she was very pretty and very small. So I asked her if she wanted to make some money. Of course, she said, yeah. So the next morning, I woke up, called the big dude, the 6'2", 6'3" dude that weighed 320 pounds. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to mention the female's name. And I told him to meet me at the donut shop on Broadway. So I went and met him at the donut shop. I called the female. She came and met us. So we go. I leave my car at the donut shop on Broadway, and I jump in with the dude, and the girl follows us out there. She's in a rent-a-car. We go out to this river road, man, and the plan was this. The plan was I put my fishing gear in. Now this is like 7 in the morning, maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, and my family member that was supposed to come, he calls me up, and he's like, "Man, where you at?" And I told him, "Where you supposed to be?" So we're sitting there fishing, and we don't see this guy leaving. We don't see his car there that we seen a couple of days prior. So I don't know if he's in the house or not. I did know that he had a wife, a new wife, and he had a baby, probably about under a year-old baby there. That's what I was told by my cousin. So we're sitting there, and I tell the girl he had a long gravel driveway from, if you picture the river roads up high, and this gravel driveway came down. So I told her to park her car on the driveway and lift her hood up and walk up to the door and knock and ask for a screwdriver so we could see who's in the house. It looks like her car is disabled. So she did. So the plot was to do a home invasion. That was the whole plot, to go up in this house and rob this cat, right? But I figured, if he's there, fine. If he's not, if someone answers the door, we could go in without him being there. So that's what happens. She walks up to the door, and the girl answered with the baby in her arms, and she's like, she don't have no tools. So the girl that went to the door, she comes back, and we're on the other side of this levee. So she can't see us, but she can see this girl walking up to the levee past her car up that was her hood was lifted up. And she comes and tells us there's a lady in there with a baby. So I'm like, okay. I said, go back up to the door, have her door open. We're going to go around back. And when she opens the door, we're going to run up in there. In the meantime, when she's walking back down the driveway, my family member that was supposed to go with us, he called me again. He's like, "Cuz, are you at the spot?" And I tell him, "Yeah, I'm here. I'm about to do it now." So when we hung up, I hung up with my cousin, the girl's at the door, and I see a sheriff coming down the levee road. Now, me and the guy that's going with me, we're already getting ready to cross the levee road and walk down. So when the girl answers the door, we can run up in the house, right? Well, the sheriff stops right in back of my friend's car. So as soon as he stops, I run. Now, mind you, we got a 357 Magnum. That's the only gun we got. And it's in my partner's tackle box down there by our fishing poles. So I run. To make a long story short, my friend gets arrested. The girl gets arrested. They said they just got a call that a home invasion robbery was about to happen. I run all the way through this pear orchard to some Pisces. I see these 4 or 5 Pisces out there working this shit. And I don't speak Spanish, and they don't speak English. And I show them $100 bill. I'm like, I need a ride. So I get in this dude's car. He agreed to give me a ride. So as soon as I get in, and I had a brown sweatsuit on, an all brown sweatsuit with a brown hat on. So as soon as I get in this dude's car, 2 more sheriffs pull up, and they see us backing out of this driveway that's probably 100 yards down that way. It ain't on the guy's property that we're about to rob. So they pull him. They tell him to get out the car. They tell me to get out the car. Now we're at gunpoint. When they tell us to get out the car, I already took my sweatshirt off and left it behind a barn. So now I'm in a white t-shirt, my brown sweat, some black shoes, and a brown hat. So they tell us to get out the car. They handcuff us both. They ask me my name. I give them a false name. The Mexican guy, they're trying to tell him he don't know me, and I'm telling him that he's our friend, that this guy was my friend, and we're going to the store. But this guy's talking to one of these cops in Spanish, telling him I don't know this dude. He was giving me money to give him a ride. So what I didn't know is they already arrested my friend going across the levee and the female at the door. Soon as this guy that I've been knowing all my life gets in the back of the cop car, he starts running his mouth. The cop said that they got a phone call saying that a home invasion robbery is about to happen. So I didn't know this at the time, but they tell my friend this. What are you guys, they're asking them their question, what are you guys doing here? We heard you're here doing a home invasion robbery and all this, and my friend just spills the beans. He says, yeah, I grew up with that cat. We was coming over here to rob him. Just tells everything. He's like, man, what do I have to do to go home? What do I have to say to go home? My kid's graduation's coming up. So this dude started telling from the gate. The girl kept it solid. I didn't know her probably for 2 or 3 months. She said that, the rental car she was in was an embezzled car. So they find all these stolen checks and these credit cards, and she keeps her mouth shut. So to make a long story short, we all three get booked for attempted home invasion robbery. The cat that I was with, he's a blood. I'm a Crip. He tells him he can't be housed at the same county jail as me because I'm going to have him hurt. He was scared of me and all this bullshit, right? So they send him to RCCC, to the branch. They send me and the chick to the Sacramento County main jail. So I'm in jail they find the pistol. So this is the catch. They find the pistol in his tackle box. When they run the pistol, it's in his grandfather's name. This was his grandfather's .357 Magnum, and they have the same last name. But they booked all three of us for this pistol. So we're at the Sacramento County Jail, 2 or 3 months, maybe even a little bit longer, and getting ready to go to preliminary hearing, and I get my paperwork. I get my discovery. So when I get my discovery, I get the cat's statement that's saying, yeah, we was going to do a home invasion robbery. What can he say to get out of this? What does he have to do? Does he have to testify? He just gives up the whole shit. So now I have the knowledge of this cat told on us. But in my back of my mind, I'm wondering who called the cops saying a home invasion robbery is about to happen. And of course, there was only a couple people that knew what was going to happen. And that's my cousin, the one that told me he wanted this done. And then my other family member that was supposed to be there with us. And that's it. It's us three at the crime scene. And then 2 other people knew about this robbery besides my cousin's fiance, which was the guy we're going to rob's ex-wife. So there's us 3 and then 3 other people that knew about this crime. So we're at the county jail, and I get my discovery saying that this cat told on us. He told him that we was actually, yes, we were going to do a home invasion robbery. And the likelihood that the individuals that were going to rob of them being murdered was very high. So this is what he says. So he's thinking he's giving them all, and he's been to the pen a couple times. So he's giving them all this information. I know this sounds like a movie, and it's really like my worst nightmare. This whole situation became my worst nightmare. So when I find out the information that he told on us, at the Sacramento County Jail, when you're going to court, they keep the Crips in tank 5 and 7. They keep the Bloods in 6 and 8. They keep it separated. And if you're coming from the branch, they come in after all the county jail is already in their tanks. But I have this paperwork saying this dude was telling on us, right? The girl kept it solid. So I had a great idea. I figured, you know what? I'm going to sneak in the blood tank. So when he comes in, I can confront him with this paperwork and show the other Bloods in the tank that, he was telling on me. Now, this is our preliminary hearing we're getting ready to go to. So what happens is we're probably in jail less than 6 months at this time. No deals on the table. We got to go to prelim to see if we're bound over for trial. So I sneak in the blood tank. This dude gets off the bus from RCCC, the branch. Anyone from Sacramento knows about the branch. They hold you there for pre-trial. And usually they hold you at the county jail, but because he said he was scared of me, yeah, James, it is interesting. Check this out. So I sneak in the blood tank, and immediately I see a cat named Stefan from Oak Park. Everyone knows Stefan. He's a big fool. I did time in the pen with him, but he's from Oak Park. He's not from Meadowview, where my co-defendant's from. So before the cat on my case comes in the tank, I'm showing him this paperwork. While I'm showing him this paperwork, I got an attorney visit. So I go out to my attorney visit, and he's like, look, man, they want someone to cop to this gun. There is no evidence on a home invasion robbery except his statement. They want to convict someone on this gun. However, the gun is in my co-defendant's grandfather's name. So when I get this information from my attorney, by the time I get back, they put me back in the blood tank. They already got my co-defendant hemmed up at the back, showing him the paperwork that I left in there with Stephon. So what happens is I go in the tank and I tell Stephon, check it out. Let me talk to this cat for a minute. So I tell him, we'll call him T. We'll call his name T. That ain't his real name. That's the first initial of his name. So I go back there and I'm like, hey, T, check this out, bro. This is the statement you made. I said, they want you to cop to the gun and give you 3 years with halftime. He like, man, my son's graduation, man, we can beat this case. We can't beat this case because they found a pistol. So the Bloods come back and like, look, dude, you're going to take this motherfucking gun case. So we go to prelim. We walk in prelim. We're in prelim, and they bound us over for trial. My attorney's like telling me after we go to prelim, if he cops to the gun, they're going to dismiss the charges on you and the female because there's no evidence besides this statement. They didn't find nothing except the gun. So this cat decides to tell his attorney that he'll take a 2-year deal for the pistol and admit to the pistol. They worked something out. We're still in the holding tanks, right? I'm in the blood tank this whole time. So they bound us over for the next day. They told us we're going to come back the next day because they think we could work a deal out. So the next day when we go to court, sure enough, he goes in there and pleads guilty to the gun. Now, mind you, me and the girl were in the main county jail. So I'm thinking, damn, I got a hold in Washington from running from Washington, but I'm about to get out real soon because all I got in Washington is a probation. I absconded from probation, right? So after he takes the deal, I think he got 30 months, 2 years, 6 months for the pistol. Now, what he does now is beyond to this day. I've talked to this cat since then. What he does now is going to blow your mind. He figured that me and the girl's getting off scot-free and he's going to miss his son's graduation, right? So when he goes to the branch, he calls up the fraud department. He calls up a detective from the branch, collect call to some detective. And he tells this detective about this real estate scheme that I was doing for the last probably 5 or 6 years before I even went to Washington. I was doing this fraudulent shit, right? This bank fraud shit. I was putting it was just fraud. It was check fraud, it was real estate fraud, it was flying checks. It was just this bank scheme I've been doing for a long time. And he knew about it. And I actually did one of his friends' accounts for $7,000 and gave them both $1,000 a piece. So he knew about this. So he calls the detective and tells them, look, my co-defendant on my case right now, I know this information about him. So I'm sitting at the counter. I'm not knowing none of this. I'm thinking I'm waiting for Washington to come and extradite me. And 2 days later, they call me up over the intercom and tell me to go downstairs. And I'm thinking, shit, I'm out of here. So I have my cellie go call my wife up and tell her that, now, mind you, me and my wife are back together. I came home from Washington. We got back together and we got remarried. So I have my cellie call my wife and tell her I think I'm getting extradited to Washington. So when I go downstairs, they fucking ad book me. They take my fingerprints and they ad book me for check fraud, real estate, 15 counts of fraud. And I'm thinking I take that back. When they ad book me on 4 counts of fraud, check fraud. So I'm thinking in my head, what the fuck? I'm thinking maybe they got me on camera going to these ATM machines. They got my fingerprints on a check. I don't know what's going on, right? But I'm not really scared because from a home invasion robbery to check fraud seems like a drastic change in my charges. I already had the attempted home invasion dismissed. So I'm not really tripping. I know I'm gonna be at this county jail a little while longer now. So what happens is I hire a private lawyer. I had a public defender on the attempted home invasion robbery because I figured, they didn't have nothing. Now I got to hire an attorney. I hired Greg Foster, and he was recommended to me by a few cats at the county jail, and actually he was really good. So it started out 4 cases of fraud, check fraud, right? Now, mind you, I just got remarried back to my wife for the second time. And I'm at the county jail. I just beat 20 years in Washington, so I don't want to go back to prison. So the first deal they came at me with was 32 months, 16 months doubled up with 80%. I'd have did 25 months on that. I tell them no. And now I'm starting to get discovery, and I'm starting to find out. My attorney brings the paperwork where this fucking dude went and called the detectives and told them about this whole thing. And he gave these detectives his friend's number that I did his bank account. So now I'm tripping. I'm like, damn. So from 4 fraud cases, they ad booked me on 8 more accounts of check fraud, real estate fraud. Now it's getting deep. So the feds pick it up because they see that I went and got a straw buyer from a bank, and we got a loan out for $310,000 on a property. And we did it. I was building people's tray lines up. Like, I'd go to McDonald's, Burger King, find someone working there and offer them some money, use their name, social, and I get loans under their name for properties. And then I would take the funds, put 10% down on the property and pocket the rest, let them move in the house for it. That's another story. So anyway, I was doing this for a number of years. So what happens is now I got 12 counts of fraud. The feds got it. Mind you, I got a strike. I've been to prison at this time probably 6 times, 7 times, maybe different cases, but I only got 1 strike. So I'm fighting this case in federal court for every bit of 8 months. By now, I've been at the county jail for almost a year. So the feds see that I have a strike. And the most this case holds in federal court is 4 years and 8 months. I already been in jail almost a year. So what the feds do is they forward my whole arrest, all the discovery to the state prosecutor, to the DA's office. And the DA sees that I have a strike. The feds dismiss my case on a Thursday afternoon. And I'm thinking, I'm really leaving. I'm going to Washington now. The next day, they come and ad book me, and the state picked up my case. Not only did they pick up my case, they charged me with 3 more counts of fraud. Now I'm at the county jail with 15 counts of check fraud, real estate fraud, mail fraud. I got all these charges on me, and I got a strike. So my first court date, when they arraigned me on this, Greg Foster's my attorney. He tells me that they're offering me 10 years. He said, man, how many more cases are going to come up? He said, man, I'd be thinking about 10 years. They're offering you 10 years with 80%. And I'm like, hell no. So my case actually went from a home invasion robbery, attempted home invasion robbery, to fucking real estate fraud, 15 counts of real estate fraud, check fraud, mail fraud. Now I'm in the county tripping. My play brother that owned AWOL Records comes in the county jail. He was on the run for over a year. He comes in and he's labeled as something. What's up, Corey? What's up, Sean Ramsher? Yeah, I'll answer you guys' comments when I'm done with part 1. So what happens is he comes in and people are trying to get at him. We have a mini riot in the pod, and so there was a guy that came in from he was doing 28 years in prison that we knew very well. His name was Scooby from Nogales. He already had a 28-year sentence for I think it's shooting or something like that. So he came in the pod, and we didn't know what he was there for. Me and Scooby got real close because I knew him from the street. His name is Norwood Armstrong. Everyone knows about this case. That's why I'm throwing his name out there. You can look it up. So Scoop comes in the pod. My bro gets sentenced. He goes on to the pen. I think he got a 10-year sentence or something like that. So when he leaves, we didn't have a riot until he left. When he leaves, there was people from my neighborhood, 29th Street there, and they was kind of mad because I moved him in the cell with me, and they say he was snitching. I didn't think he was snitching. No one showed me no paperwork. So we had a riot. The top tier had a riot with the bottom tier, and it was me. Um, I'm gonna put the names out there. It was me. It was Fathead, and it was yeah, what's his name from the street? Hatch. His last name is Hatch. These are two big dudes. Us three, we have a riot with the bottom tier. Who we had a riot with was Milk from 24th Street, Hood from Nogales, Crazy from 29th Street, and 2 LA cats. So it's 3-on-5. We have a mini riot, right? So after the riot, of course, they roll us three up, me, Fathead, and damn, I can't think of his name. He's the homie too, man. I've been knowing him for a lot of years. His last name is Hatch. His family's from Elder Creek. So anyway, we have a riot. So me, Scoob was in it too. Me, Fathead, and damn, his name's on the tip of my tongue. Us three and Scoob, we get sent from 4 West to 6 West. We all go to 6 West. When we're in 6 West, we don't know what the homies are gonna do. So when we go to Pill Call, I spill an Insure can. Anyone knows an Insure can, it's that weight gain stuff in their real thick cans. I steal it from the nurse's station when they gave the guy in front of me his Insure. He put it in the bag, and I stole it out of the garbage bag. So I take it back to my cell, and my cellie was from T-Zone Crip from LA. His name is Lowdown from T-Zone Crip. So what happens is I get this Insure can and I bust the Insure can down. And what I mean by bust it down is I make a little 6-inch knife out of this Insure can, and I have my cellie file it down and make a piece out of it. We put a sheet around the handle, so now I got a weapon in the cell. So on 6 West, I dropped my phone somewhere. On 6 West, it's more LA Crips on 6 West than it is Sacramento Crips. And I knew them all. Big Evil from Great was there. Little Evil from 6'8". Rest in peace, Little Evil from 6'8" was there. Moon, I think Moon is from Watts. I think Moon is from Watts or 60s. No, Moon is from Watts. I think he was there. And then it was like 6 or 7 LA Crips on the top tier with me. And of course, my cellie was from T-Zone Crip, which is in LA. So I like to play pinochle. So one night, me and my cellies in there gambling. We're playing pinochle. I won all this canteen from it. And I only been in this pod for under a week. So Scoob's on the bottom tier. Fathead is still on the 8th floor. But Spanky's his name. Big Spank from 29th Street. That's who I'm talking about. He was on my tier. So what happens is I'm playing my cellie from T-Zone Crip Peanut when I win all this canteen. So this cat's kind of swole. He's kind of not all there. Let's just say he ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. So I win all this canteen from him. And this cat, if you guys know Sacramento County Jail, they don't give you boxers. They give you dun-da-duns, nut huggers, right? Old man underwear, white briefs. So this cat says, I'll play you for my pants for a jar of coffee. I'm like, what? He said, man, if you win, I'll walk out to Pill Call tomorrow in my drawers. And I thought that shit was funny. Biggest mistake I made at the county jail. So I beat him out his pants, right? So I don't take his pants from him, but the next day during Pill Call, he's going to walk out there in his dun-da-duns. This is what happens. Next day comes, this cat walks down there in his dun-da-duns, and all the LA Crips on the top tier is tripping. They're calling him to his door. Man, what you doing out there in your drawers? And he tells them, man, I lost a bet to Dog, and he won my pants from me. I got to walk out here. And he thought it was a joke, but they was tripping. So what they told him was, you got to go in the cell and have a fade with Dog. So he comes in the cell after Pill Call. We already had day room that evening. So he comes in the cell and he's tripping. He's like, Dog, man, the homie said I got to have a fade with you. So mind you, I got this knife in the cell and it's under my mattress. I got the bottom bunk. It's under my mattress. He's on the top bunk. So me and him fight. Bang, bang, bang. We lock up. And we fight probably for a minute and a half. I bust his lip and he got a gash under his eye because he hit the damn sink. hit the sink, so he got a gash under his eye, right? So now I'm thinking, fuck, blood's in the cell. He got a gash under his eye, and he ain't gonna be able to come out the cell for breakfast. So I'm gonna have to try to get him a tray, right? So the next day I got court. Mind you, Scoob is with me. Scoob from Nogales is with me. He's on the bottom tier. So I go to court, and I think it wasn't my prelim, it wasn't trial. I think I was going for like a hearing, just to postpone. So I'm going to court, and they put me in the van to go across the street to court. I'm not going to court at the county jail no more. So when I get in the van, everyone knows you're chained up to another inmate. So when I get across the street, they're taking the cuffs off because you got to go through a metal detector to actually go into to the bullpens, the holding cells, right? So soon as they take the handcuff off me and I go through the metal detector, the cop says my last name and tells me to get on the wall, and he kind of pushes me kind of hard up against the wall. So I turn around, and 3 more cops just roughhouse me and handcuff me. They're like, "You're not going to court. You're going back to the county." I'm like, "What? I haven't even been in court." He's like, "Nah, you're going back to the county." They didn't tell me shit. So they put me in a little holding tank by myself. So I'm tripping. I'm handcuffed in the back by myself. I'm not handcuffed to anybody. So what happens is they take me back to the county jail, and they put me in a fucking a little holding tank at the jail down by where you first get booked, you know, where you get booked at. And I'm in this little tank, and they put the flap over the window so I can't see. I was in there for like 2 or 3 hours, and fucking intel. I call them intel. They're like the goon squad of the county jail. 2 of them in black shirts. They come down there and they open the door, and they're like, "You're going to the hole." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm going to the hole?" They're like, "We found this," and they open this little yellow envelope. They found my knife. I'm like, "What the fuck?" So they send me to the hole. As soon as I get to the hole, I think the hole is 400 pod, 8 West 400 pod. Maybe it's 300 pod. I get to the hole, and when I walk in the hole, I hear Scoob yelling down to me, "Dog, what cell you going to?" And I tell him. So when I go in my cell, he's right up above me. He's telling me to flush out. And what that means, when you're at the Sacramento County Jail, you could get your mattress and put it on the toilet and use your knee like a plunger and flush all the water out of the toilet. And then you could get cups, or you could just yell in the toilet, and you could talk to the toilets without talking through the door on the tier. So I flushed the toilet out. This dirty as hell. I don't want to put my fucking head in this damn toilet. So he's like, "Hey, cuz, your cellie, when you left this morning to court, he pushed the button and told him you had a knife in the cell and you guys had a fight last night." And I'm like, "What?" So what happened was, after I fought my cellie, he wasn't comfortable with the outcome. So what he did was he pressed the button and told the cops that I had a knife. You know, when they find a knife at the Sacramento County Jail, they tear up the pod. So what happened was they tore the whole pod up. And Scoob ran from the cops when they opened his door, because he had also a insure can with a banger. He ran to someone else's cell and slid it under the door, and they flushed it, right? But because he ran, they fucking sent him to the hole too, because the dude from T-Zone said me and Scoob was close, and they knew we just had a ride on the floor, so they send me and Scoob to the hole. So check this out. While I'm in the hole, I'm pushing the button, and I'm telling the cops I need my property. You know, when you go to the hole in prison or in the county jail, anywhere, your cellie's supposed to pack up your property and give it to the cops. The cops go through it and then give it to you. What happens is, this motherfucking cat gets my property, takes all my canteen, all the canteen I had, we got these white boxes, and I had 4 white boxes full of canteen, hygiene, food, coffee, zooms, and wham-whams. I wasn't tripping on the food, but what he did was he took my mail, my pictures, and my address book. And I couldn't understand why he didn't send this shit, right? So now, mind you, I'm fighting a big ass fraudulent case. I'm at the Sacramento County Jail, had the charges dismissed for the home invasion robbery. And this motherfucking cat writes my wife. What he does is he takes some letters that I was writing the female that I got busted with in Washington for the bank robbery. She was in prison in Washington. The prison's called Purdy out there. And I was writing her in prison, and she was sending me pictures, I had letters from her, and this dude from T-Zone Crip, because I kind of beat him up a little bit, he writes my wife, sends her letters that I got from this my co-defendant in Washington. Her name's Vanessa. Sends my wife pictures of Vanessa, letters that I got from Vanessa, and I'm not knowing none of this. So I'm in the hole maybe a day or two, and my wife comes up there, and she got my son with her. And my son at the time, this is 2008. This is 2008, 2009. He's 9 years old. He was born in 1999, so he's 8 or 9 years old. And she's crying, and she tells me she got the letter and pictures of Vanessa that my celly sent her, right? This is the most scandalous shit that's ever happened to me. So now you got to think. I'm in the county jail. I'm fighting for my life. I just got caught with a banger. This cat wrote my wife, told her I was writing this other girl. Me and her are freshly married. We got married, I think. Oh, we got married July on her mom's birthday. So we only been married 2 months before I got arrested. So we're freshly married, and now she gets these letters and these pictures that I've been cheating on her through the mail, and she tells me, tell my son bye. This is the last time I'm gonna see him to talk to him, and she's gonna file for divorce. So I'm gonna leave you with that, and you'll have to stay tuned for part two. I think I'm gonna end it right there and tell you what happened after that. So stay tuned for part two tomorrow. I know you guys want to hear the rest of the story. This story gets really deep, and you got to put yourself in my state of mind. I just beat 20 years in Washington. Now I'm back on attempted home invasion robbery. I'm in the hole in Sacramento County Jail. I don't think I'm getting out the hole because they found a knife. My celly sent. I'm getting a divorce now, and I'm not taking. Now I really ain't gonna take no deal because I gotta go home. I'm not gonna go do no time because my wife says she's gonna divorce me. So now I'm all fucked up. It's like the most extreme shit happened to me in this amount of time that's ever happened to me, back to back to back to back. So I'll continue the story tomorrow. And stay tuned, man, because this story gets really deep. James, yeah, it is interesting, homie. What's up, Corey? Hey, if you got, man, I stress this to all my viewers, man. If you guys already haven't became a member of my channel, you guys really are missing some exclusive content that you guys can't see unless you're members, man. I got prison art on there. I have poems that I wrote when I was in prison for the last 10 years. I got you'll be getting my book. You'll get exclusive content that I'm not letting the rest of my viewers see unless you're a member. It's $3.99 for beginners. If you want to become a silver member, it's $9.99. If you want to become a platinum member, it's $49.99. And if you want to become a gold member, it's $24.99. But at least join my Prison Yard TV. At least spend the $3.99, man. I stress that you will get so much extra shit. There's so many different perks if you join for $3.99, man. You guys won't regret spending $3.99. What can you buy for $3.99 nowadays? Corey, what's happening, homie? Let me see. This is someone new, Sean Ramsher. Damn, they were just piling up bad deck against. Yeah, they was, homie. They were stacking the deck against me for reals. And right now to this day, I want to tell you guys something. That cat T, they told on me. All his people know what he did. I'm not. You guys will see it in the second story. He actually came to court and got on the stand, and I got the paperwork. He got on the stand on me, man. A few people got on the stand on me, and it was crazy. But yeah, I'll continue. I'll leave you with this cliffhanger. I'll continue part two tomorrow. Stay blessed. If you ain't subscribed to my channel, man, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button and share this video, man. Share this video, and I'll get back with you guys tomorrow. But this story gets really deep, and it's personal to me because this cat's still out here. You know, I don't gangbang no more, but this cat's still out here. I thought I seen him one time at Thunder Valley, and he was kind of far distant away from me. He seen me and vanished on me. But this cat's been out here. He did his little 2 years and came home, and you know he's out here living free. I heard he's out here buying and selling cars. but he's out here, man. And this cat is something vicious. You know what? Maybe I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do in part 2? I'm gonna show his statement. I'm gonna block his last name out, but I'm gonna show you guys his statement he made. You guys are gonna trip out on this. I'll post it on here. The statement he made when he got in the back of that cop car. I should have got that out for you on part 1, but I promise you tomorrow I'll bring the discovery out where he told him. I'm not gonna bring the transcript where he got on the stand because it's a long ass transcript. I'm just gonna show you guys his statement he made when he first got arrested. It's unbelievable. So stay blessed. Tell the people you love them, and stay tuned for tomorrow, part 2. I'll pick up tomorrow where I left off today. Stay blessed. Tell the people you love them. Check y'all out tomorrow, man.